Tobias leads the party to a spot where Jimmy the Goblin orchestrates a mass hallucination to throw them off their trail. Naturally, these wise men are so ungodly stupid that they don't think it's a little strange that their surroundings suddenly changed on them. Isn't any of this raising a red flag for any of them? Then Jimmy shows up. Or maybe he's astral projecting himself into their minds. I don't know, it's really hard to know what the hell's going on in this movie. And he tries to take the map from the wise men. Luckily, Balthazar's Green Lantern powers help him maintain a strong will, which is the opposite of how Green Lantern powers work, and he takes the map back.
It'll take us straight there, huh?
I thought it did.
Oh, don't you worry. It's her way of saying she likes you.
Huh? That means he likes you.
The three kings on their way to finding the royal treasures that would lead them to the King of Kings, the baby Jesus. What they didn't know then was that they would have to forge a strong friendship between them in order to succeed. For they were about to face many more challenges that would transcend their magical powers and require tremendous strength of character from each of them.
Yeah, nice pitch to the Disney executives for why they should distribute this movie, but I've got a better monologue for this montage. As our journey continued, I couldn't help but think, my God, this is the dumbest group of travelers I've had the misfortune of coming across. How they've gone this far without lighting themselves on fire is, frankly, a miracle. Ugh, again with the star letters! Why make it that pointlessly complex when all they should be doing is following the star until they get to Jesus? While that's going on, Xena Jolie and Tobias search for some water when she gets stung by a scorpion.
Oh, Sarah, my little girl.
You're not her father. The only reason you would call her your little girl is an incredibly creepy one. They come across this tree which can only be found if you eat any old rotten piece of fruit that you find in a cave. Because wise men would totally do that. And it leads them to the hidden temple that houses the treasures.
Who can enter the royal dominion? He whose hands are innocent and heart is pure.
Who can enter the kingdom? Apparently anyone who can read the tree. And then this happens. Just shut your damn eye, you idiot! You're smart enough to conduct mass hallucinations, but you're not smart enough to just shut your eye? I gotta say, though, Tobias has a really good arm. Jimmy the Goblin then casts a spell to make a lunar eclipse. This serves literally no purpose but to make the lighting more dramatic. Back with the wise men, they open the door to what's supposed to be gold on the other side, and end up in the North Pole. Hi? How did they end up in the North Pole? Is this where they meet the real Santa Claus? And for some reason, there are a bunch of wolves frozen in the ice. Oh hey, check it out. These animators had the same animal drawing class that I had in college. Balthazar falls through the ice, which somehow brings the frozen wolves to life. Melchior tries to fend them off, falls through the ice himself, and everything's fine somehow. Okay.
Fabulous! You charged those wolves with a toy knife!
Why did he attack them with a toy knife? Why does he have a toy knife? Why wouldn't he think of going against them with a spell instead of attacking them with a toy knife? So he gets the gold because he was dumb enough to throw himself into danger with no plan or strategy? That's not bravery, that's idiocy. They go into the next room, which is supposed to reward them with frankincense.
Frankincense, for the one who learns to be humble.
But instead, they get...
Well, well, well. What have we here?
Oogie Boogie, voiced by Mark Hamill?
Now the question only one may answer. answer, and you don't have much time. Does the sun revolve around the earth, or the earth around the sun?
And despite him vehemently holding on to his earlier theory, along with whatever evidence he had to support that theory, he just concedes to the other theory without looking at the facts. Kinda sounds like how this movie was written. Meanwhile, outside the temple...
Who are they?
Who are they? Who are who? We didn't see him looking at anybody. What you should be asking is, what the hell is that that's blocking out the sun? In between screams of terror because you think the world's coming to an end. We then go back into the temple to get the final treasure, myrrh.
Myrrh, for the one who follows his heart.
Can anyone explain to me what's happening here?
I was counting on you guys to explain things to me. What makes you think I know? They trudge through these catacombs full of statues, but if you touch them, you immediately turn into a statue yourself. Oh no, I've lost my friends. Oh well, nothing I can do for them. And how does Balthazar save them? By shedding a single tear into the water, which somehow makes them okay. So simply acknowledging that something is tragic is better than actually trying to fix it like they did? I understand that tests of faith can be confusing at times, but this test is all about choosing your heart. What's the point of punishing them for trying to do good by following their hearts, i.e. saving these poor souls who are crying out in terror? They go into this final room to collect their treasures, then their magical baby blocks go into their respective slots, and a beam of light shines up to the star. So the star was supposed to lead them to the temple, and the temple is supposed to lead them to the star. That's not completely pointless.
You have passed the tests of the kings. You have shown yourselves worthy of bearing the royal treasures to the King of Kings, who is about to be born. For your courage, you will bear gold, King Melchior. For your humility, you will bear frankincense, King Gaspar. For your heart, you will bear myrrh, King Balthazar. But you still have one great test before you. The greatest test of all. Trust in yourselves. And remember that few people believed that little David could defeat the great Goliath.
They just passed 3 incredibly mind-mangling trials in order to test their mettle. I would think that belief in themselves would come pretty easily at this point. And who's talking anyway? Is this God? One of his angels? I don't remember them ever being female. Or is this some other goddess trying to lead them off their chosen path? Who are you, lady? Herod, Jimmy, and their army of Ganaglanchis are storming the temple. And look, the brave mighty warrior got captured. Again! Then Jimmy turns into a Nessie praying mantis thing, which comes forth by bursting out of the middle of the ocean in the desert. Don't remember reading that in the Bible. And after Tobias and Xena Jolie have a little mind meld, what? They fight off the Ganaglanchis.
It seems like we've been doing this together all our lives.
Are you two actually siblings?
That's why they haven't kissed yet.
I've never fought alongside anyone like this before.
I've never fought alongside anyone at all.
You're in the army, and you've never fought alongside anyone like that before? I expect that kind of idiocy from her, but you are a very special kind of stupid.
Remember what the star said.
Few people believe that little David
could defeat the great Goliath.
Wait, remember what the star said? That was the star talking to them earlier? The Star of Bethlehem is a character now? I wonder what other stars are sentient. So they finally defeat Jimmy by making a sling and using it to destroy the moon, which brings on another great flood. Brilliant move, wise man. Jimmy's killed by the sunlight, even though we've seen him survive sunlight before now, so what the hell? And how do they deal with Herod?
A black-hearted soul deserves coal.
Coal for being bad. What a grand idea.
A black-hearted soul deserves coal? The fat guy with a white beard said a black-hearted soul deserves coal? Why, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. In fact, there's 2 of them, and they both predate Jesus! Then after all of that, they finally get to the stable where Jesus is born. Then again, with this blindingly bright light, are we sure they didn't get beamed up by the rainbow faces? Or is Jesus radioactive? That can't be good. And as if that wasn't insultingly stupid enough, take a look at this.
As a reward for having successfully completed such an important mission, the 3 kings were given a gift: the power to make children's secret wishes come true. And so ever since then, on the night of every 5th of January, the wise men travel all over the world, bringing gifts to all the children.
Me too?
You only have to believe in them.
Oops, shush. I didn't mean to.
That's right! The 3 wise men who visited Jesus are still alive 2,000 years later, and they're acting as a collective second Santa Claus. What the Flying Dutchman were these people smoking to come up with that? Never mind how the movie never shows us the Nativity at all, which was the only thing that the wise men of the Bible are associated with, but then they go on to say that the wise men became another Santa Claus? It'd be fine if they said something like maybe they inspired St. Nicholas to give gifts on Christmas Eve, but that's not what they're saying. The 3 wise men, who, by the way, are supposed to be powerless against death,
My powers are useless against death.
somehow remained alive for the next 2,000 years to give gifts to children without the aid of magical elves or flying reindeer or anything else that Santa needs to do his work. And what has this all been building up to? The 3 wise men giving the kid the gift that he missed out on Christmas, with no explanation as to why they'd given this faith-defining gift instead of Santa, and apparently the gift that not receiving made him lose all faith in Christmas was the kangaroo rat that he already had at the beginning of the movie! So that was the 3 wise men. And actually, it's a work of genius. You go into a movie called The 3 Wise Men, and you're expecting to see the wise men from the Bible as they learn of the coming of the Messiah, and we follow their journey to see him in Bethlehem. But no, what you get is a treasure hunt story involving wizards, superheroes, Yanaglanchis, goblins, astral projection, cursed pirates, fire elementals, kings from other mythologies, lava-breathing sea dragons, magical talking stars, and warriors who are only warriors because boobs. Why? Because this movie is actually an elaborate piece of social commentary. It has the very clear message that Christmas these days has so little to do with Jesus, not even his origin story has any Jesus in it. Brilliant! Seriously though, this movie was just awful, and I can't believe I went through the trouble of turning into Wolfabob for this. Changing like this really hurts, you know? And since this movie hurt me, time to hurt it right back.